If you're over 50 and behind on retirement, you have a secret weapon you're probably not using. It's not a side hustle. It's hidden right inside the tax code. Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're making a massive shift. We're moving from financial panic straight into tactical deployment. So if you're looking for a real retirement shortfall fix, well, you are in exactly the right place. Look, let's just acknowledge the reality right out of the gate here. The average 55-year-old has far less saved than they actually need to live comfortably. And that brings on a very specific, almost sinking feeling of running out of time, doesn't it? But assuming it's too late and just doing nothing, that is hands down the biggest mistake you can make. The runway is shorter, yes, absolutely, but the window isn't closed if you know exactly where to look. Here is our roadmap for today. We're going to cover the retirement reality, savers versus deployers, catch-up limits, Roth conversions, Social Security timing, and finally, wrap it up with the 15-year action plan. Let's get right into it. Section 1. The retirement reality, shorter runways require greater precision. You know, the damage of undersaving tends to accumulate in silence over decades. You don't really notice it until suddenly it's right there staring you in the face. But the solution right now requires aggressive, surgical precision rather than sheer panic. Effective over-50 retirement planning is really about understanding that the IRS actually provides specific tools to accelerate your growth. These are literally tools that younger people simply aren't legally allowed to use yet. Moving on to Part 2, Savers Store, Builders Deploy, the crucial identity shift. To pull this off, you really must adopt a financial strategist persona. Think about it this way. Cautious savers store money. They treat cash in a bank account like this cozy safety blanket, which honestly just slowly loses its purchasing power to inflation over time. Wealthy deployers, on the other hand, don't store, they deploy. They put capital to work as a mechanism to generate even more capital. Moving your mindset from storage to deployment completely changes your entire trajectory. Which brings us to Part 3, maximizing catch-up contributions, the math of the next 15 years. So, once you hit 50, the tax code suddenly rewards you with retirement catch-up contributions. A standard 401k maxes out at $23,000, but for you, it bumps up to $30,500. A standard Roth IRA limit goes from $7,000 to $8,000. And a massive common mistake I see all the time is ignoring the HSA catch-up. An HSA offers incredible triple tax benefits, and at age 55, you can add an extra $1,000 a year into that account too. Now let's look at this pure indifferent arithmetic. If you spend the next 15 years maximizing those catch-up limits, that extra capital alone, growing at a modest 7%, generates a staggering $380,000 extra. Think about a real-life couple, say they're both 55, with $300,000 currently saved. Just by deploying an extra $7,500 a year each into their 401ks, they compound well over $150,000 extra into their portfolio. By combining all these tools, they can add over $200,000 in potential security over the next decade without taking on more risk. That is exactly how you retire with confidence. No magic, it's just math. But before we deploy any further, we absolutely must address the primary antagonist of early retirement. It's something called sequence of returns risk. Basically, if the market drops 35% in your first 2 years of retirement and you're withdrawing 4% just to live, you might permanently cripple your portfolio. A bad sequence of returns at the very beginning does damage that a later market recovery simply cannot fix. To protect against this, you don't panic sell. Instead, you build what's called a bridge account. This is essentially a buffer of 2 years' living expenses held in stable liquid instruments, like CDs or short-term treasuries. A really common mistake people make is pulling from their retirement accounts early just to catch up or cover living expenses during a down market year. This bridge account strategy dictates what you draw from first, allowing your core investments the time they need to recover and letting those tax-advantaged accounts keep growing. All right, Part 4, Roth conversions. Taxes are not a bill, they are a negotiation. In your 50s, your taxes are quite literally a negotiation, and executing a Roth conversion after 50 is probably your single best tactic. Here's how it plays out. You strategically convert your pre-tax accounts to post-tax Roth accounts while you're still working, especially doing this during your low-income years to create this beautiful tax bracket arbitrage. You pay the taxes today, completely on your terms, meaning those dollars come out entirely tax-free later when you actually retire. Executed correctly and definitely alongside a tax professional, this single maneuver is honestly life-changing. For someone with a 15-year runway and, let's say, a $600,000 balance, shifting $30,000 to $40,000 a year can legally save you up to $120,000 in lifetime taxes. Let that sink in. You are essentially buying your own money back from the government at a steep discount. On to Part 5, Social Security Timing, the single biggest decision. So claiming your benefits as early as possible at age 62 might get you around $1,640 a month. But delaying Social Security, that gives you a massive, guaranteed 8% annual increase. Waiting until age 70 inflates that exact same monthly check to $2,830. Folks, that is a huge, completely risk-free return that absolutely no stock market index in the world can guarantee you. The absolutely crucial metric here is your break-even point, which lands right at approximately age 79. If your health and family history suggests you're going to live past 79, waiting is, quite simply, the mathematically correct choice. It maximizes your lifetime payout and drastically reduces the pressure on your portfolio to perform over those later years. Bringing it all together in Part 6, the 15-year action plan, rewriting your retirement. Okay, here is your tactical step-by-step execution plan. Step 1. Find your exact catch-up contribution limits for this year. And make sure you keep an eye out for updates, like the upcoming 401k catch-up 2026 limits as the laws evolve. Step 2. Automate those increased contributions immediately. Don't rely on willpower. Step 3. Model your claiming date using the official SSA calculator online. And Step 4. Please speak with a fee-only fiduciary about building a customized tax map for your specific situation. Listen, the window might be small, but these tools are incredibly powerful. You can't change the past. You can't magically get back the compound interest from your 20s, but you can entirely rewrite the next 15 years if you step up and choose to act as a deployer rather than a cautious saver. Consistent, intense effort right now will absolutely outperform passive optimism over a long arc. So I have to ask, which of these catch-up tools are you already using? Let me know in the comments and subscribe for more strategies that don't waste your time. Because ultimately, someone is going to control your wealth in your 60s. Is it going to be the IRS or is it going to be you? I'll see you in the next explainer.